This TikToker moved into his office cubicle because he couldn't afford rent.
They do not pay me enough to do both. So as a matter of protest, I am just going to live at my job. And we'll see how long I can get away with this. I was only able to afford a 100 square foot apartment, which was around $1,300. It's a box. Welcome to my studio apartment.
After getting passed over for a salary reevaluation, his student loan repayments looming, and a sharp increase in his rent, Jackson found it difficult to afford his Seattle apartment. The chemical engineer by training came up with a way to cut his biggest expense.
That's around the time I discovered that my office had an office downtown, and it was this beautiful space, but it was big, empty because of COVID, and that's when I was like, when I found out I wasn't getting a performance review, found out I wasn't getting a raise, I was like, perfect. We're going downtown, and it was a perfect location too.
Once he moved in, Jackson had to figure out how to make it work.
Oh, this is where I slept last night. Got my fabrics, because I make clothes sometimes. Got all my books. I had a rice cooker, so I just brought the rice cookers. They already had tea, they had coffee, free, all that, perfect. In the second building, we have a men's shower in the bathroom, okay? We got towels, and we got 2 showers. Come on now. I thought this...
You know, here's the thing. He mentioned at the beginning that his student loans was looming on the horizon. Man, those student loans is a game changer. Those student loans will turn your life upside down. And the main thing that I'm hoping is that when he decided to make this move and ultimately go live in the office and was saving what he would have paid on rent and possibly even other utility costs, I hope that he didn't start having a good time. I hope that he took all that money, and because he doesn't have to repay it yet, so that could indicate that there's no interest accruing on it yet. And I hope that he took that money and he was just knocking down his student loan debt. That's what I hope for. Y'all, we're about to get back into it. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it helps more than you know.
Stop, baby.
But once his TikTok videos went viral, Jackson's company was not pleased.
They were like, are you living out of the office? And for me, I was like, okay, deny until we figure out what's going on. They were like, yeah, okay. So either way, regardless of what is true or false, we need you to remove your personal items from the office. We need you to delete the videos.
Eventually, the company gave Jackson an ultimatum. He would either have to delete the videos or face termination.
Should I delete?
People had already started reaching out with job opportunities, and I'd already been interviewing different places.
Okay.
I just got evicted. It ended up being a decision between this unknown, but I have hella options, or somebody that doesn't respect me, and we're like, it was kind of easy. Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't fly in most workplaces, but that's the point. Hopefully your employees don't feel like they have to do wild shit to save money.
Jackson hopes his experiences will spark a conversation about the importance of paying living wages and work culture.
If you want something to change in your life, you got to make that change, because no one else cares about you. You need.
I'm not mad at that ending. And me personally, I think he probably made the right decision, because I think his social media, based just on this post has like over 200,000 just likes in itself. So when they did this article on him, I'm sure it's got millions of views. And I think he can actually, do something with his social media. So I think he did the right thing by not taking it down, because what I think would have probably happened anyway, they just wanted him to take the videos down and they were still going to fire him, because he done lied to him, all type of stuff. How are you lying to your job, telling them that, no, I'm not living in the office, when they clearly see on your TikTok that you're living in the office? I don't know why he did that. He should have just fessed up. Maybe he was trying to squeeze out some more time. Maybe, I believe he said they don't really use that building like that. So maybe they didn't even feel like going down there to check, or it was going to take a little time for them to do that. But I was ultimately going to say, when he kept asking for raises and the performance reviews so that, he can get a raise ultimately, my thing was, why aren't you applying to other places? That could be the easiest way that you can get a raise, just by making a lateral move. But what came out was that he had been applying. I think he's just, he's got that engineering degree. I think that's probably a harder field to just transition out of, especially depending on, how senior your role is or whatever the case. But yeah, I think all is well that ends well. I think it was right. Keep your social media going. Don't just take away all your, highest performing videos, especially it seems like he wasn't really in a good place with his job anyway. It didn't seem like he was really going to ascend much further, and he was already kind of formulating his exit plan. So I'm glad. And, his social media was about his work. So that's probably where a lot of his opportunities started coming from other jobs that might have seen his posts. So I think, yeah, I wouldn't have did that because his social media could definitely be used for professional reasons as well.
Okay. Hear me out. We should all at the same time stop paying rent or your mortgage payment out of protest. Please. We have to be on a united front. Becky, Tom, Bob. Let's be all on a united front, and let's just not pay our bills this month. Like let's just out of protest. Baby, I ain't got it. I don't have it. I don't have your money. I don't know what you're gonna do, but like the thing is this: they can't beat all of us up. They can't. It's we're in America. It's 300 million. They cannot beat all of us up. It's coming from somebody who works a stable corporate job. This shit is expensive. Like this shit is not fair. And you baby boomer motherfuckers better not have none of the motherfuckers out your motherfucking mouth. This damn generation is lazy. Fuck, we not, bitch. We're tired. We ain't get to buy a 5,000 square foot house for only $2,000. The fuck? Okay. Hear me out.
See, and this is why the world is going in the way that it's going right now. Because you got weak people like this who don't have the courage to just branch out and do what they think is right on their own. They have to get an entourage before they can actually act and do what they want to do, which is what he's trying to do. Which is why, like I said, a lot of the things are the way that they are today, and why certain things are accepted that are bat-ish crazy that shouldn't be accepted is because people got together like this and said, we're going to push this together because it can't stand on its own. You've never seen me try to rile up some troops or try to tell people to get with what I'm talking about or what I'm thinking, because I'm speaking the truth. And the truth can stand on its own. I don't have any worry about that. And best believe it's not going to resonate with everybody. It's not going to resonate with most. But the people that it does resonate with understand those individuals are worth 100 imbeciles, for lack of better words. So, bro, you go do that degenerate stuff on your own and see where it gets you. Stop trying to get other people to ruin their lives too and trying to change the way things work with sheer numbers. That's sad.
Morning, I'm pretty depressed. I could barely afford food yesterday, and I got food instead of gas, and I was supposed to work today, and I have to call in because I don't have enough gas money. I just turned 38 the other day, and I did not expect 38 to feel like this, where all you want to do is go to work, but you can't even get there. I have 2 jobs and a side hustle. I'm doing my best to keep this little family afloat. Why is it so hard?
I'm saying with this economy, it's hard out here. It's hard than a mother, man. I hate old girl in that situation where she had to either buy food or put gas in the car. But it's a lot of people out here right now having to make those type of decisions. So when I see this sister here, she say, "Hey, I had to make a decision whether to eat yesterday or put gas in the car. I chose to buy food, and now I can't go to work." So she's in a rock and a hard place, as they call it, man.
This morning,
Yes, a lot of people struggling. And like you said, a lot of people having to make these hard decisions now. But it's because they didn't make the hard decisions before. Let me explain. And this isn't a catch-all. This doesn't apply to everybody. But I definitely think it applies to most. Listen, it was a hard decision when you had to say, am I going to put this money aside or am I going to go eat out? Am I going to take this trip, or am I going to prioritize my longevity in my future and put something away so I have something for a rainy day? A lot of people were living like that in the good times. The people who aren't necessarily affected by the way that the world has shifted now are the people who were having a more long-term view and who weren't just living check to check when times were good. Understand, there was a period when times were really good, and most people had the opportunity to set something aside and try to establish themselves from a financial aspect. But they didn't do that. They made the decision to choose short term fun or pleasure, depending on if they put, as well, self inflicted wounds on themselves. Some people chose quick pleasure, and now they have these permanent responsibilities that's looking them in their face, depending on them, that when these bad times come, now they have to carry them along with them, and they have to try to figure out what they're going to do. But you really weren't ready for it because you weren't ready for the dip. Everybody's ready for it when we're at the peak, but you're not ready for the dip. And this is just the things we have to start evaluating moving forward. And people need to really understand the the long game here when it comes to life. Things are not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to have the resources that you thought you would always have for a lifetime. You need to make decisions based off what you can do. And then even then, you still need to hedge against that because you still never know what can happen. So that's ultimately what I'll say. But I hope everything works out.
So let me tell you how I'm a single mom and how I'm slightly depressed. Okay, so I live in Miami, Florida. Right now, I have to find a place to stay. And that means that's for me and my son. Me and my son, we have to find a place to stay. They are selling the property. So now I am in grind mode in the sense of moving, trying to find a place. And trying to find a fucking place, and I'm gonna say fucking place because it's getting on my fucking nerves. These prices for like 2 bedrooms are ridiculous. Like, okay, $1,000 for a room, $2,000 bum. But $3,000 for a 2-bath and a 2-bed and a 2-bath, out of this world. Let me tell you how it's only set up for people in relationships, 2-parent home.
Well, no. What you expect in Miami? Sounds like you had a good deal, and it sounds like the landlord understands that now, especially as prices have probably jumped up in Miami because everybody's coming down there. So now he's deciding, I'm going to just go ahead and take my profits, especially since the future is very uncertain in Miami. You might want to take it out. But staying on track, ma'am, we got to start reevaluating what we think we need. It's just you and your child. Y'all might have to share a bathroom. Y'all might have to sleep in the living room. Yeah, if you want to stay in Miami, you might have to get a studio apartment. Then I think you will find that things will be a lot more affordable. Listen, there's people in parts of the world who live in tents and huts. I think an air-conditioned studio apartment will work just fine if you're that settled on staying in Miami. I think it's just that simple. There's going to be trade-offs. You're not going to always get everything you want.
It's not for single parent, single people. How about that? Not even single parent, because you could be a single person and you still can't afford this shit. So for single people, the rent in Florida, Miami, Florida, is not made for single people. The shit is made for motherfuckers who gonna roommate by 10 of y'all in the motherfucking place. But it was actually built for people who can afford it, like 2 people in one household, not one person. So the fact of the matter is, I have to have a certain credit score. I have to have a certain amount of income to be able to afford these places. And how they squeeze you out is by making you bring all these things, like your paycheck stuff, like 4 to 6 months for paycheck stubs, 4 to 6 months worth of bank statements, like even bringing in your taxes and shit, just to make sure that you working. but to also make sure like how often you getting paid to ensure that you have the money to pay. So because I don't make $90,000 a year, I only make like 72. Yeah, I don't make the cut. So I am down. So I can't live where I want to live. I gotta live in the slums where they also want to.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? When we were just reviewing that other lady, when times are good, we're still trying to live above our means. You should definitely get that studio. She makes $72K a month because even if she could afford the 2 bedroom, let's say the 2 bedroom was right in her price range, she should still be looking for ways to get ahead to where she can start saving some money, especially since she's a single mother, so that they're extra prepared, because you never know what could happen. You could lose your job. Anything could happen. So her life should be set up to where she's always keeping a good chunk of what she's making, in my opinion, so that you don't come on line like this desperate. You should be looking for ways you can get ahead, in my opinion, because it's just you and your child. Listen, you should be breaking down the rent payments. She should be trying to find her a studio apartment in Miami for $1,000 a year right away. $1,000 a month right away. That's 12K for the year. She still got 60K to play with, and she should at least be trying to figure out a way to put away 25 of that. Now, she doesn't get the whole 60K after net, but that's how she should be thinking, in my opinion. And year after year, in 4 years, she should have 100 grand in the bank, if you ask me.
Charge me for some bullshit that's not even worth it. Like the 1,700, this, that 1,800, 1,900. They want us to pay that to be in the hood. And even though I am from said hood, I don't want to live in a hood. Like, I don't want to pay all this money for no amenities, bitch. Like, what am I paying for? What am I paying for? 1,800, 1,900 to live in the slums. Like, really? So y'all squeezing motherfuckers out. This is discrimination to me. This is another level of discrimination. It's with the law. With the laws, Lord Jesus, they forgive us, Lord.
We're not even going to touch the discrimination aspect. Yeah, you're being financially discriminated on. But she said the amenities. Boy, y'all are going to trade y'all future for these amenities. It's incredible. People's selling out their whole future in longevity just for some amenities. Amenities that once you actually move in there, nobody uses them anyway because you just get used to it.
But I digress. I'm depressed because I've been doing this shit for over 5 years now, looking for a place to stay. And it's really hard and overwhelming. It's challenging and overwhelming and depressing because it's like now I got my cootie shot. Like, it's like if you don't have these certain requirements, you can't get in. And so yeah, there are housing programs which are very saturated and they go by lottery, and so if you don't get picked, then your ass is assed out. You don't have housing. Not because you really can't afford to live. You really can't afford the cost of living because of daily living. So, there are other resources like what? Homeless shelters. Right. We would think so. No. In order to be considered homeless, you would have to live in a homeless shelter for a year. For up to a year. Nobody's car, nobody.
You see how these ladies, man, they don't even be needing these resources, but they still just be like, how can I get on some type of assistance? This woman's making almost 75K a year, trying to sit here considering living in a homeless shelter when there's other people who could definitely use that spot a lot better than her. She only got one kid, which, being a single mother with one kid should be an outlier, but she's actually privileged compared to some of these other circumstances and situations we run across where you'll see somebody with 6 of them, 8 of them. This man has no reason to be even considering a homeless shelter. She'll consider a homeless shelter, which would be like a studio apartment, before she just considers a studio apartment.
Sofa, nobody's kitchen, because that is considered housing. You have housing. That's considered housing. So I would have to sleep in a homeless shelter with me and my son for a year in order to get any type of other services outside of the ones that, you know, are available to me now. So can you catch my dilemma and where I'm getting frustrated and where I'm getting depressed? Because once you have been doing this for so long and trying to figure out how you're going to afford all of the things, yeah, you kind of just let it go. However, me being me, I'm still gonna fight and try and do all the things so that me and my son can be comfortable and living and not on the streets. But I'm just letting y'all know that it's a struggle. Housing is a thing. Housing is a concern, and I don't think.
All right, we've heard enough. Just get out of Miami, ma'am, if it's that deep. She's 1/4 away from making 100 grand, and she's feeling unprivileged by not being able to get government benefits and assistance. Ain't that something? We're going to leave it there for today. If you could like the video, greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually does help out tremendously. Also, if you could hype the video, hype is a feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and then it shows you the points. And since I am a smaller content creator, we actually get more points. And then Patreon is linked below as well if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.